Yes, very good evening, children. Today's topic is periodic properties of elements. So, periodic properties is a very most important topic, children. Periodic properties of elements. So, the periodic properties of elements is the first atomic radius. Second one, ionization energy. Third one, electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy. Fourth one, electronegativity. Fifth one, metallic character. Sixth one, non-metallic character. This is the today's topic, children. Very most important topic here. So, first one, atomic radius. Atomic radius means here the distance between center of the nucleus to outermost orbital. The distance between center of the nucleus to outermost orbital is called atomic radius. For example, see children, so here it is one of the atom, it is the nucleus. Atoms are shells, see it is. For example, it is nucleus with outermost cell. The distance between center of the nucleus to outermost shell, this is called atomic radius. The distance between center of the nucleus to outermost shell or orbital is called atomic radius. So, atomic radius in a period from left to right, it is decreases. In group from top to bottom, increases. So, in periodic table, as we move from left to right in a period, atomic radius is decreases. As we move from top to bottom in group, it is increases. So, means here, atomic radius means when the shell is increases, radius also increases, children. If the shells are increases, radius also increases. So, that's why atomic radius means the center of distance between center of the nucleus to outermost shell is called atomic radius. Atomic radius in period from left to right, as we move from left to right in the periodic table, it is decreases, and top to bottom in the periodic table it is increases. That means atomic radius in period decreases, in the group it is increases. So atomic radius measured in picometers. Picometers. It is short for PM. 1 picometer equals to 10 to the power of minus 12 meters. It is our atomic radius units, children. Atomic radius measured in picometers. Coming to the next one, ionization energy. Ionization energy means the energy required to remove an electron from outermost shell. The energy is required to remove an electron from outermost shell. It is called ionization energy. For example, see, lithium will be there. 3. 1s2, 2s1. It is 2s1 is the outermost shell. If you want to remove the electron from this, how much energy is required? That is called ionization energy. The energy is required to remove an electron from outermost shell. is called ionization energy. So here, when it is remove the electron, it becomes to stable configuration. It very stable configuration it is. So that's why the energy is required to remove an electron from outermost shell. It is called ionization energy. Already one electron is removed. If you want, try to remove one more electron from the uni positive charge atom or ion. This is called second ionization energy. Let me see, children. Already it is completed, removed one electron. Now the lithium is becomes to lithium ion. Means it is becomes to helium configuration. Then it is get stability. If you want, try to remove one more electron from this. That is called second ionization energy. The energy is required to remove one electron from uni positive charge ion. If you want to remove the electron from this, so how much energy is required? That is called second ionization energy. First one is the energy is required to remove an electron from outermost shell. That is called ionization energy. If you consider first ionization energy also, as we consider first ionization energy also, if you want to remove one more electron from this, that is called second ionization energy. Then listen to the definition of first ionization energy and second ionization energy. First ionization energy is what about? The energy is required to remove an electron from outermost shell is called ionization energy. That is called first ionization energy. And the second one is the energy is required to remove one electron from uni positive charge ion. It is called second ionization energy. So ionization energy in period from left to right, it is increases. In group from top to bottom, it is decreases. So ionization energy measured in kilojoules mole inverse or electron volt atom inverse. Ionization energy measured in kilojoules mole inverse or electron volt atom inverse. These units we have to use when we have to use the term of potential. If instead of energy, then we use the term of potential. At that time, we have to use the units of electron volt atom inverse. Ionization energy means kilojoule mole inverse of the units. If the term potential instead of this energy, if you use, you have to write the units of electron volt atom inverse. So that's why ionization energy in period from left to right, it is increases. In group from top to bottom, it is decreases. Next one, electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy. That means here, electron affinity means here, the energy is liberated when one electron is added to the atom. The atom is gaseous state. Means here, when we add the electron to the atom, how much energy is liberates? That is called electron affinity. When the energy is liberated, when electron add to the atom must be gaseous in state. That is called electron affinity. When the energy is releases, when we add one electron to the atom is gaseous in state. It is called electron affinity. It is entirely same, similar things to are, but here energy is required to remove an electron is ionization energy. When we add the electron to this, how much energy is liberated? That is called electron affinity or electron gain enthalpy. So, how much energy is required to remove electron? That is ionization energy. When we add one electron to the atom, how much energy is released? That is called electron affinity. So, the energy is liberated When we add one electron to the atom is gaseous in state. It is called electron affinity. Electron affinity in period from left to right increases, in group from top to bottom decreases. Next one is electronegativity. Electronegativity means here the tendency of atom attract the electron towards itself. It is called electronegativity. The tendency of atom attract the electron towards itself. It is called electronegativity. So here electronegativity means here the process, the tendency, the process means attract the electron towards itself. It is called electronegativity. The tendency of atom attract the electron towards itself. It is called electronegativity. Electronegativity in period from left to right, it is increases. In group from top to bottom, it is decreases here. So highest electronegativity element is fluorine. It is 4.0. Highest electronegativity element is fluorine and lowest is cesium. Highest electronegativity element is fluorine and lowest is cesium, children. Electronegativity in period from left to right, it is increases. In group from top to bottom, it is decreases. Next one, metallic character. So 3 are less than electron present in outermost shell. That kind of elements is called metals. 3 are less than electron present in outermost shell. They are called metals. So metallic character of the metal, in period from left to right, it is decreases. Metallic character is decreases. In group from top to bottom, it is increases. For example, metallic character: sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, Sn, P, phosphorus, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus and chlorine. So here metallic character in period from left to right. For example, see sodium. As we move sodium to magnesium, these are the metals. Aluminium, silicon, these are metalloids. Phosphorus and chlorine, they are the non-metals. So as we move from left to right in period, metallic character is decreases, and in group from top to bottom, metallic character is increases. This is about the metallic character. Non-metallic character. When there's 5 or more than electron present in outermost shell, they are called non-metals. Non-metal we have considered as when the 5 are more than electron present in their outermost shell, they are called non-metals. The non-metal character, as we move from left to right in period, increases. In group from top to bottom, it is decreases. So these are the important properties of elements in the periodic table. Very, very most important, children, from this any 4 they will ask in the examination how they vary and how they change in period and group. Like that they will ask the question. Let me see once again. So here yes, children. Periodic properties, these are. of elements. First one is atomic radius. Second one is ionization energy. Third one is electronegativity, and fourth one is electron affinity. Fifth one is metallic character. Sixth one is non-metallic character. And this is the main important properties, children. These are very most important. And see, children, these properties how vary in period and group. Let me see now. In period, how they are changed. In group, how they are changed. Very most important question, children. So the important properties of element in the periodic table, they are atomic radius, ionization energy, electronegativity, electron affinity, metallic character, and non-metallic character. Already we discussed now. So atomic radius in period means we have must and should mention that from left to right as we move from left to right, children. So atomic radius in period from left to right, it is decreases. From left to right as we move from left to right. Okay, children. So in group means we have to mention the top to bottom. Top to bottom. So if one property is decreases, the another one is as usual increases. It is. In period, atomic radius decreases, it is increases. Ionization energy in period from left to right, it is increases. In group from top to bottom, it is decreases. Electronegativity in period from left to right, it is increases. Top to bottom, it is decreases. Electron affinity in period from left to right, it is increases. Top to bottom, it is decreases. Metallic character in period from left to right, it is decreases. And in group from top to bottom, increases. Non-metallic character in period from left to right, it is increases. And top to bottom, it is decreases. So these are the important properties of elements in the periodic table. So see, children, here atomic radius and metallic character. Atomic radius and metallic character. These two properties are equal. They are changing equal in period group. And the remaining ionization energy, electronegativity, electron affinity, and non-metallic character. So these properties are equal. So this is the table. So keep it in mind, children. Very most important table it is. So let me see now some more important topic, the final topic in this lesson, that is ionization factors. The factors depend on ionization energy. So here the ionization energy depends on some important factors. Let me see now. Ionization factors. So here, ionization energy dependence of factor. Before that, already we discussed about the ionization energy. The energy is required to remove an electron from outermost shell is called ionization energy. The energy is required to remove one electron from outermost shell is called ionization energy. So ionization energy depends on some factor. Let us see what are those. First one is nuclear charge. Second one is screening effect. Screening effect or shading effect. Third one, penetration power. Penetration power or piercing power. Fourth one, stable configuration. And fifth one, atomic radius. So these are the main factors influence of ionization energy. Ionization energy depend on these factors. Children, very most important question it is also. So first one is nuclear charge. As the nuclear charge increases, ionization energy also increase, children. As the nuclear charge increase means ionization energy also increases. Example of sodium and chlorine. So chlorine has more nuclear charge because of chlorine is pull the electron from the sodium. Sodium required one electron. Chlorine also required one electron, children. So that's why chlorine is pull the electron from the sodium, and the sodium also ready to contribute this electron. Because of due to this electron, it has no stability. Due to this electron, the sodium has no stability. That's why sodium is ready to contribute one electron to chlorine. So then sodium is attains positive charge and chlorine is attains negative charge. So chlorine nuclear charge is greater than sodium. That's why nuclear charge increases means ionization energy increased. This is the first factor. As nuclear charge increases, ionization energy also increase. Example of that. Next one, screening effect or shielding effect. Here, more screens has less ionization energy. More screens have less ionization energy because of the more screens is act as a more shells act as a screens due to the attraction power outermost shell is very decreases. Okay, children. More shells has the more decreasing power. Example of lithium 3 and cesium is 55. So see, cesium, lithium contains of 1s2 and 2s1. Only the two shells is consist of two shells. But cesium is consist of 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d10 and 4p6. So on. For subtraction here, lithium has only the two shells, two screens, 1s and 2s like this, 1s, 2s. But here cesium has more shells. Due to the more shells, it has acted as every shell acts as a screens like this. Every shell acts as a screens. Due to this, what happens here? So the attraction power over the electron in outermost shell, it will be decreases. Due to that, ionization energies decreases. Because of more shells have or more screens have less ionization energy. Example of lithium and cesium. Every shell acts as a screen. Due to this, the attraction of nucleus over the outermost shell electron is decreases. Due to that, ionization energy is decreased. This is a screening effect or shielding effect. Next one, penetration power or piercing power. The same main shell consists of different penetration power. Example of here, for example, 4S, 4P, 4D, and 4F. This all belongs to same group, same main cell here. But their penetration power towards the nucleus is decreased, children. Because of see here, 4S is very near to the nucleus and 4F is very far to the nucleus. But whatever it may be, all these 4S, 4P, 4D and 4F, these all belongs to the same main shell, same block here. 4S, 4P, 4D and 4F. Here, 4S penetration power is greater than 4P and 4P penetration power greater than 4D. 4D penetration power greater than 4F. So by this what we conclude that here, the main shells consist of different penetration power. So compared to here, 4S has more penetration power than 4F. 4F have least penetration power, children. For example, let me see one example here. Beryllium and boron. Beryllium atomic number is 4 and electron configuration is 1s2 and 2s2. It is beryllium. Atomic number is 4. And next, compared to the boron, let's check the boron. Atomic number is 5. Electron configuration 1s2, 2s2 and 2p1. This is the outermost. And for this outermost. So here, one observation here. Beryllium, every shell filled with full electrons. S orbital complete here and here also S orbital completed. Means here, beryllium is filled with full electron. Due to this, it has more power. But boron, let me see the boron. 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Boron is not completely filled. Means it is not stable than the beryllium. But coming to the atomic number, boron is greater than beryllium. But however here, boron, beryllium is completely filled with electrons. That's why it has more penetration power than boron. Here same, 4s have more penetration power than 4f because of this all belongs to same group, same main shell. But however here, example of here see beryllium and boron. If the atomic number increases, means their penetration power is decreasing here. So that's why compared to here, 4s and 4f, 4s has great penetration power than the 4f. This is the penetration power and piercing power. One more is next one, stable configuration. For example, here oxygen and nitrogen. It is very easy to remove electron from the oxygen than nitrogen. Why? Because let you see here, actually here oxygen is the atomic number is 8, nitrogen is atomic number is 7. But here we can easily remove the electron from oxygen than nitrogen. Why, children? Why we can easily remove the electron from oxygen and why not nitrogen? What is the reason? Means just you compare the electron configuration. Oxygen is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p4. Nitrogen 1s2, 2s2 and 2p3. 2p3. So here nitrogen p orbital, it is filled with half electrons. The orbital filled with full electrons are half of the electron. They have the full stable configuration. They have full energy. But here see same way, nitrogen is filled with half of electron. Complete half of electron. So coming to the AC, 1s2, first cell it is 2s2, second cell it is. Coming to the degenerate orbital, we have to take into one group 2px, 2py and 2pz. According to Hund's rule, where the degenerate orbital starts, we have to fill one electron only in this. Now nitrogen atomic number is 7, 2 electron 1s2, 2s2 it is, 4 completed, and your degenerate orbital starts here. What is meant by degenerate orbital, children? What is meant by degenerate orbital? The orbital which have same energy, they are called degenerate orbital. The orbital which have same energy, they are called degenerate orbital. So here, nitrogen is completely off-field configuration will be there here in p orbital. Here one condition will be there, children. If orbital filled with full electrons or half of the electron, they have full stability, they have full energy. So p orbital maximum capacity 6 electrons. From the 6th here, 3 electrons is occupied here. Means from the 6th, just it is half electron is filled in this orbital. Nothing will happen. Half are full. When they are filled in the orbital, they have full energy. According to the Hund's rule, it is children. The electron filled with full are half of the electron in the orbital. They have full energy. So that's why here we can difficult to remove the electron from nitrogen because nitrogen is half-filled electrons in the orbital. That's why nitrogen is greater than oxygen. Then we can easily remove the electron from the oxygen than nitrogen because nitrogen is half-filled. So this is stable configuration. And next atomic radius. As I told you clear, atomic radius means the distance between center of the nucleus to outermost shell. It is called atomic radius. Okay, sir. If the atomic radius increases, means ionization energy also increases. So this is about the factors, ionization energy factors. They are depend on these main points are here. Nuclear charge, screening effect or shielding effect, penetration power or stable configuration, and atomic radius. These are the main factor influence of ionization energy. So this our 7th chapter is end, children. So here one more important announcement to you, children. The main important points in the 7th lesson, just to keep it in mind here. First, Doberman's law and limitations, Newland's active theory and limitations, Mendeleev periodic table and limitations, modern periodic table, and coming to the ionization factors, very most important. It will come for 4 marks question. It is a very important, and the factors also very important. How they are influenced to ionization energy, it is a very important. And the properties, how varies in period and group, atomic radius, ionization energy, electronegativity, electropositivity, metallic character, non-metallic character. These all the factors, how vary in period and group, whether they are increases or decreases. It's a very most important children. And coming to the last, a simple 1 mark question. Coming to the 1 mark question, what is the modern periodic law? What is Mendeleev periodic law? What is meant by lanthanides? What is meant by actinides? What is the electron configuration of inert gases elements? These are very most important. Keep concentrated on this, children. So, finally, if you want to find the electronegativity, for this one formula will be there, children. Electronegativity equals electronegativity equals ionization energy plus electron affinity by 2. This is the electronegativity formula. Ionization energy plus electron affinity by 2. Very most important. Already I told you how to identify the periods and group to the elements. For example, sodium is there, children, and aluminum will be there. It is 11, atomic number is 13. Electron configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. Let me check the outermost shell. Here, according to the sodium, this number 3, it is called principal quantum number. It is expressed above the period number. It is period. And the outermost shell electron, it is expressed above the group number. According to this, Sodium is belongs to third group in a periodic table, and it is belongs to first group. This is the way to find the group and period to the elements. This number, which is the outermost shell, that is 3s, is the outermost. Number 3, it is the principal quantum number. It is expressed about the period, and the outermost shell is expressed about the group. According to this, sodium is belongs to third period and first group. It is the group 1, first group. Same way, aluminium 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, and 3s2, 3p1. Outermost it is. Now here, 3s, 3p, both are belongs to same period. It is 3a only, it is 3a. So that's why aluminium is belongs to third period. Group, here 2 electrons there and here 1 electron there. 2 plus 1 is 3 electrons. That's why it is belongs to third B group or 13th group. Third B group or 13th group. So this is the way to find the period and group to the elements. Very, very most important process, because sometimes they will ask this question for 2 marks. So this is the 7th lesson, children. It's a very, very, very most important lesson it is. So please, my humble request to you, please be concentrated on this lesson. Keep more concentrated, practice well. Okay, children. This is the 7th lesson, and I'm going to wind my class. So be careful, everybody keep concentrated, and every day practice more and more. So practice thoroughly. Thank you. Thank you.